Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, Africa. And good morning to the rest of the world. It's the conversation on TOS Television Network. Thank God it's Friday. It's as though I wait every week to actually say thank God it's Friday. My name is Ade Suwasi.
And I am Merciful Ajinamo. Happy Friday.
Oh, I was just waiting to say thank God it's Friday as well. Okay. Happy Friday to you too. How are you feeling today?
Good. And you?
Very well, thank you.
So what's your plan for Friday? It's the weekend,
You always ask me that.
Yeah.
One day I'm going to give you a very, very, very dope answer. Okay, before we kickstart the show, we'll be bringing you the quote of the day. That's some Friday morning motivation for you as you go into the weekend. Just have that at the back of your mind. And I think it's as Merciful said yesterday, failure should be a way to learn how to do something better. So you fail and then you learn to do it better and then you succeed at it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because every step you take along the way and you keep failing, you're learning the process that you've taken, they're wrong. So it's giving you more chance to try the right ones. So when you're failing, you're learning.
Yes.
That's what it is. You're taking a cue from the failure.
Okay. All right. We'll go straight into development across Africa. Starting from a WHO report that says Africa accounts for at least 94% of all malaria cases in the world. This was contained in a report presented by WHO Director General Dr. Tedros Ghebreyesus at an event to commemorate World Malaria Day. He noted that children under 5 years in the African region contributed 2/3 of global deaths from the disease in 2019. Ghebreyesus revealed that in 2019, about 229 million cases of malaria were recorded, out of which over 400,000 deaths occurred in 87 countries. He further said the emergence of COVID-19 in 2020 had led to the disruption on responses given to malaria, therefore leading to a surge in deaths. According to him, lockdowns and restrictions on the movement of people and goods led to delays in the delivery of insecticide-treated mosquito nets or insecticide spraying campaigns.
Wow. I think we should not just look at COVID-19, as a pandemic and forget the other ones that have been there. So people should try to use mosquito nets and everything because that's the number. 94%. That's huge.
Of the world population, it's like almost everyone that has malaria is in Africa.
It's in Africa, I'm telling you. Well, we'll move over to Ghana, talking about the Football Association in Ghana involving military men to help fight hooliganism at the stadia. And the Ghana Football Association have requested for the services of military men to help fight hooliganism at different stadia. The football governing body in the country made this known on Wednesday during a meeting held to dialogue on how to end misbehavior of fans during football matches. Hooliganism has been choking for long Ghana Premier League and the Division 1 League. Earlier this month, match officials were beaten by Wamana Mighty Royals mercilessly in a lower tie game. The home venue has been banned by the FA. Also, many officials have been attacked at the Ndom Stadium, among others. It is believed that the involvement of the military will deter hooligans from assaulting officials. Hooliganism in Ghana football has been a major plight that has ruined the game and made it difficult for the corporate world to inject money into football.
This is a clear case of not taking loss.
You do not want to lose.
Yeah, you do.
It's
want
okay
to
when you lose. People should know that.
So you lose and then you take it out on the officials and all of that.
I saw a video that trended. I don't know, was it last year? I think the ref, I think like he was trying to do something and it was favoring one side and it was, the other side were not happy and they took it out on the ref and they were beating. I was like, oh my God, it's a game.
What did you do? Exactly.
It's sports. It's not like a life and death something. So I really think something should be done about.
If they keep doing that, it's quite encouraging what Ghana is doing with that, because if that keeps happening and they keep holding this competition in this football contest, that's quite impressive. Because left for me, I'd have cancelled it a long time ago. Definitely. I really would cancel it because having, hooliganism, as I said, because I think I see cases, videos like that where they get to take, you know, losses out on the ref,
on
and
the
the
ref and
referees
the
are so
officials.
scared
Yeah, they're
to
running
actually,
away.
yeah, so they don't even know what
They don't
to
even
do.
know how to be objective in the
yes,
game because they are afraid, oh, this side,
this
they may
side.
have more thugs or anything and they'll
Yeah.
attack them. It affects everything. The fun is
Taken out
tampered
of it,
with.
exactly. But do you
That's it.
think that they should actually deploy the military to actually quell that?
I really think the police can do that.
Yes.
If they've had some sort of security man, you know, in the past, and they have not been able to quell the situation, they should add, you know, employ more officials and not really military, because the purpose of military is more like attention.
That's why we have the mobile policemen. I think those guys will probably do the function of the military there. No, because like I think it was what our guest said yesterday,
Yeah.
even though he was talking about Nigeria, but I think we've like displaced the role of the military in the society. They're not supposed to be doing stuff. I call those petty stuff for the military, fighting and hooliganism and all of that stuff. You should leave that for other security forces to do
Trying
and
to
let them
control
focus.
protests
You know.
and everything.
Exactly.
We have the police, and the police can do that work. The
That
military is
function.
only employed in serious cases where it
Yes.
involves matters of national security,
Exactly.
because that's what they're trained for.
Exactly.
That's it.
Stage where the Lagos State chapter of the Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria, that's JUSUN, has announced partial resumption amid ongoing nationwide strike. While confirming this in a statement, JUSUN Lagos chairman Asiwaju Sobowale Kehinde said this was based on a meeting with stakeholders during which 70% of their demands were met. Sobowale therefore said judicial workers in Lagos have resolved to be on strike on Mondays and Tuesdays and open the courts between Wednesdays and Fridays. What do you think about that one?
I'm asking, why the on and off? Why the it? If you're in, you're in. It's either white or black. There are no grays.
Okay.
So if you're resuming, what is the partial resumption for?
So maybe to just, you know, like our guest said the other day, there are pending cases, there are people who need to get justice, litigation. We spoke about overcrowded cells because, you know, cases have to be ongoing. So instead of just shutting the courts out entirely, so you just maybe have a few days in the week, I think
How
Mondays and Tuesdays.
effective will the
to just
strike
do
now
the
be if
cases
you're still
and
coming
then-
to the court?
Exactly. So because actions is still ongoing, work is still ongoing, I don't think it's going to be effective. I don't think the
It's
government
just
is
like
going to-
you have more days off and some day on. So some people
Yeah.
even like the kind of job, and the people may, for all I care, you're still coming to work. So
Yeah,
really,
I
there's no
mean,
need for
they
the
just
strike.
wait for Monday and Tuesday. Okay.
Wow, that's funny. All right, talking about insecurity, Governor Ipeazu urges Nigeria to spend more on intelligence. The governor of Abia State, Okeze Ipeazu, has said that the country is filled with people of diverse nationalities. But unfortunately, borders giving entry to the country is not being manned greatly. During his courtesy visit to TOS TV News on Thursday, the governor stated that those who are caught in acts as killings, abductions, and burning of police stations, among other crimes in the country, should be called enemy of state, pointing on the fallback of why it still gets difficult to track where ammunition and terrorists spring from. The governor specified that the country needs to spend more on intelligence, speaking about who did what and why nobody is apologizing for the civil war that happened in the country. Ipeazu indicated that the country is yet to get a closure of what happened during the civil war. The governor opined that the strings that tie the country is gradually falling apart. And during the visit, the governor also spoke on the need to end cultism in Nigeria and also the need to name and shame those who have consistently caused the increase in the level of insecurity in the nation. Do have a look.
We need to also address the issue of cultism fundamentally. Because some of the problems and some of the issues we have, whatever history cultism in Nigeria has, I think that time has come for us to address it squarely. Are we saying also that we don't know the leaders of this cult groups in Nigeria? Is it not time for us to call them together? Because they are doing more harm than Boko Haram and IPOB put together. Some of us who have children in the universities come home daily and you talk to your son and say, hey, Kennedy, if you come back by 9 again, I'm going to lock the door against you. The guy you are talking to has killed 3 people.
Yeah, I really do think that we should spend more on intelligence, you know, because like we said before, employing all the different strategies and tactics to curb insecurity is needed at this time of, when we're talking about insecurity in every place. And it has not only happened in the north, it's going to the southwest and southeast and everything. So everybody is feeling it in Nigeria.
In Nigeria, yeah. And I was at that meeting yesterday with the governor of Abia State when he was talking about all of that stuff. And I think I quite agree with him to an extent, because it's because we don't have that much intelligence network in Nigeria. That's why we cannot even control our borders. That's why we cannot even monitor what happens with the borders. And that's why we don't even know who are the, like he said yesterday, how are we sure that it's actually Nigerians that are actually, causing the mayhem and everything in the country? Because we have different state governors that have come out to say, these people are not Nigerians, they're coming from neighboring countries. Because how do you have Nigerians?
We don't even know if
abducting,
they are,
abducting fellow Nigerians, clergymen, traditional leaders, medical personnel,
and politicians,
all of those stuff. So we do not even know whether Nigerians, whether they are coming from outside of Nigeria. We don't know, because we don't. The intelligence network in Nigeria is, I don't know if we have, but if we do have, it's at the barest minimum. I think we need to spend more to up, our game on intelligence network and all of that stuff, so we can actually have numbers, we can track, we can see, and then I think if we do that, we will be maybe several steps forward in having to handle tackle insecurity and terrorism in the country.
Definitely.
All right, that's it on development across Africa here on TOS Television Network. We're going to bring you COVID-19 updates from across Africa right about now. Came back, that's COVID-19 updates from across Africa. Different African countries collated together all of those cases, with the active cases, number of deaths, number of recovery, and number of people tested. Over 42 million people tested in Africa so far. But I'm still not encouraged, in the recovery number. And I really want to see drastic reduction in the number of active cases and the number of deaths. I've been saying that, and I'll keep saying it until I see it. So basically, what I'm trying to say is, we're doing enough, I know, but we're still not doing enough. So basically, just do your part, and I'll do my part to ensure that we do not have to talk about COVID in 2022. Merciful is nodding his head, so I want him to say something about this one.
Yeah, definitely. Is everybody doing their part? Avoid unnecessary movements. Stay far the way I'm staying far away from the day.
Wow.
Keep wearing masks. No, we're close but far at the same time. You get me? So keep wearing face masks. Ensure that you're washing your hands. Just make sure you're following the protocol that your government has set. And if the vaccination exercise is close to you, take the vaccine. Just ensure that you're safe. Prevention is always better than cure, I assure you.
I mean, you don't want to fall sick, and you want to make the next person fall sick. So let's not do that to each other, all right? Okay, so we're going to go on break now, and then when we come back, we'll be taking you through newspaper headlines for this morning.
North to South Africa. East to West Africa. TOS TV Network is your digital-first Pan-African news network, bringing you news from across the continent. Visit our website www.tostvnetwork.com and follow us on social media at TOS TV Network on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. Watch us on television, channel 138 on TSTV Africa.
On our breaking news, stream our programs live.
North to South Africa.
Watch out for the latest update on sports and politics as they unfold. You can also get notifications for our upcoming programs and events. All these on our TOS TV Network mobile app, available on Apple Store and Google Play Store. TOS TV News from Africa by Africans.
Being a journalist means in-depth analysis that unravels hidden truths, that question the status quo and fact-checks government.
These criminal elements hiding under the cloak of surveillance contractors are the APC elements.
Do you have facts to prove that? Being a journalist means waking up every day with a burning desire for peace, equity, and justice for all citizens.
We're being told that the choice you have is to take the lesser of two evils.
It means patriotism via the prism of objectivity and accountability. It means giving my platform to the masses to discuss issues that matter to them.
Some of them, if they bring budget, like the budget they look. Some of them sleep. They're going to ask how much we are on. I have it.
Thereby shaping government policies and laws. My name is Osasu Igbeneghu, and I am the People's Journalist.
Welcome back to the conversation showing on your digital first Pan-African news network, TOS Television. And don't forget, you can always be a part of our social media community by following us across all our social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at TOS TV Network as displayed on your screen. And also live stream our programs on our website, www.tostvnetwork.com. And don't forget to subscribe on YouTube as well. It's that time where we'll bring you some of the headlines, the topics across some of the national dailies for this morning. And we'll begin with Blueprint from the very top. Presidency to critics, leave Pantami alone. And that can be found on page 13 of the Blueprint newspaper. Underneath that story, we have 4 Nigerian students win University of Delaware Global Award. And that's on page 13 of the Blueprint newspaper. Underneath the tag there, our power sector got West Bank $1.25 billion in 2 years. And that's a report on the power sector. Power sector getting World Bank's $1.25 billion in 2 years. We have 2 riders underneath that story. The first is Nigeria has largest people without electricity access globally. And the second is only 51% installed capacity available for generation of power. And that can be found on page 5. The very conspicuous headline there says, Niger, Kaduna, Oyo State, bandits sack another military base, attack hospital. And we have 4 riders on the story. The first is abduct 2 nurses, 33 others. The second is gunmen kill 5 in Benue, Edo, scores injured. And the third, Buhari condoles with Zamfara as death toll hits 83. And the last rider on that story is why stopped negotiating, coming from Gumi, and all of that can be found on page 6 of the Blueprint. Under the picture of the day, we see federal government tightening security over Chad's political instability. And the rider underneath says, we have 2 riders actually. The first is to check influx of refugees, weapons. And the second says attacks on military police won't be tolerated. And we have women selling on baby for 300,000 naira in Odo. A woman sells her own baby for 300,000 naira in Ondo State, and that got story can be found on page 9 of the Blueprint. Reps move against organ harvesting sales. That can be found on page 13. NLC mobilizes against Erufai over sack of 4,000 workers, and I'm sure that's in Kaduna State right there, and that can be found on page 5. And 15-year-old Benue varsity student electrocuted. Very sad story right there. Can be found on page 8 of the Blueprint newspaper. All of these stories can be found on the Blueprint newspaper for today.
Yes, and moving over to the Daily Trust newspaper, the very first headline there says, Alleged linked to terrorists, we stand behind Pantami. That's coming from the presidency. And then beside that one, 60 buried as death toll in Zamfara attack rises. And then to the very obvious headline on the Daily Trust newspaper, federal government says Nigeria is bleeding. And the first rider there says, fingers political ethno-religious leaders. Tell us their real names. ACF Afenifere challenged defense minister. Northern governors meet Buhari. Gunmen on the prowl kill several in Benue, Edo and Rivers. Then just underneath the picture of the day, we have Knox kudos as APC kicks against petrol price hike. Uproar in Kano prison over illicit drugs. Nigeria overtakes Congo, worst in global electricity access. And then the last headline on the Daily Trust newspaper this morning says, federal government fixes 6-week timeline for passport processing.
All right, we move over to the News Direct newspaper for today, and we'll begin from the very top as always. Lagos to generate $10 billion in agriculture investment by 2025. That's coming from Sanwo-Olu, and that can be found on page 3 of the News Direct. And NDPHC, BEDC to deliver 250 megawatt stranded power, and that can be found on page 16. Abiodun honors LASU best graduating student with house, 2 million naira. That can be found on page 12 of the Nigerian News Direct. And the very obvious headline there says, early age utterance, presidency rejects call for Pantami's removal, list milestones as minister. And right under that particular story, there is Khan once again linking Yakowa's death to minister. And that's on page 2 of the Nigerian News Direct. Under the pictures of the day there, we see NCC arrest 5 suspects over fraudulently registered SIM cards, and that can be found on page 3. How we spent 2.3 trillion naira COVID-19 funds. That's federal government coming out to give details on the spending of the COVID-19 funds, and that can be found on page 2. Then OML 143, NNPC, SIPCO signed gas development agreement to unlock 1.2 TCF. That can be found on page 3. And I think that's it for the Nigerian newspaper for this morning.
Yes, that's it for that one. And then moving over to the Daily Times newspaper. Sanwo-Olu, Gbajabiamila, Obi, Adebanjo, others utilize Odumakin at lying in state. And then to the very gaping headline there, anxiety in a Shekiri land over whereabouts of Olu's crown. That story you can find on page 2 of the Daily Times. And then underneath the picture of the day, Olu of Warri crisis. Police invite powerful chief over crisis in Warri Kingdom. Food sufficiency. Sanwo-Olu unveils 5-year food sufficiency roadmap for Lagos. And then the last headline on the Daily Times newspaper. Palace Watch. Otaru of Auchi. Nigerians will appreciate Buhari after president leaves office. That story you can find on page 20 of the Daily Times newspaper.
We'll move over to the very last National Daily for this morning on the newspaper review segment of the conversation, and that is the business day. And as always, you can always monitor the market, Forex and what have you, from the very top of the business day newspaper. The very gaping headline there says how Nigeria's tech startups are defying daunting ecosystems. That can be found on the business day. And just side by side, that story is economic realities, one of impending food scarcity. And that can be found on the Business Day newspaper as well. And inside the Business Day, Nigeria needs collaboration, attitudinal change to protect environment. That can be found on page 30, and I think it's talking about the World Earth Day of 22nd of April every year. That's it for the newspaper segment.
Yeah. So as always, which one of this caught your fancy today?
All right. I'm actually quite interested in the controversial story of Insa Pantami and President Muhammadu Buhari coming to list his all what he's done and everything. So I'm very interested in reading the story, because that's what has been on the front burner of Twitter when we spoke about it yesterday and people have been calling for his resignation, and it looks like the government is saying no to his resignation. They're not supporting the action. So I'm much interested in what that story has to say.
I think a lot of Nigerians will be interested in that one as well. But for me, it's the issue of electricity that we keep having. I think across all the dailies, they talked about Nigeria having the worst case. I think was it Congo, and now it's Nigeria has a worst electricity provision case in the country, and
one of the largest
we're one of the largest. Electricity tariffs keep rising, and then power situation keeps deteriorating. So the imbalance,
there's not
the
even
gap,
balance. It's two different sides.
Opposite of a divide, I tell you. And I keep wondering, why have we still not gotten electricity right in Nigeria? And I think Nigeria provides electricity to some of, neighboring countries. And it's, so they say maybe because we have, too many people and too many households to provide electricity for, and then privatization was the solution at some point, but that didn't work. So I don't know if they're looking towards other, strategies, other ways to actually make, because I heard that, I think over half of the power grid collapsed, I think weeks ago, or something like that. So basically, if that keeps happening, meaning we're still going to keep having deteriorating power.
Definitely. And we have so many businesses that depend on
power,
not just businesses, but how people, fend for themselves. I mean, we can't keep having this kind of situation in the country. We're talking about development across all sectors, and power is one that is very important. Trust me.
I'm amazed at how they have not actually prioritized it.
Trust me, it's very important. It's very, very important. It's very sad to have tourists come in and coming from a place where power is not really a thing, and they're coming like, oh, what's happening? You have to leverage on using alternative means of generating power. Solar. I know it's calling for people to be very creative.
And those are quite expensive.
Very expensive.
Very expensive.
Very, very expensive.
And the thing is, we don't even produce that in the country. We have to import power generator, solar inverter. We have to also import all of those things. So it doesn't even favor us in any way.
We really do hope something is done about this.
Exactly.
As soon as possible. All right, that's the much you can take on the newspaper review segment of the conversation. Showing on your digital first Pan-African News Network, that's TOS Television. We'll go on this break, and when we come back, Deswa will be taking you through what's trending on Twitter and all the social media for this morning.
Welcome back to the conversation on TOS Television Network. And it's about that time where I get to take you through, what has been trending on social media in the last 24 hours. And then before we get into all of that, as I always tell you, you should be a part of the community. Just follow TOS TV Network on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and also subscribe on YouTube. Subscribe so you do not miss out on anything, the amazing lineup of contents that we have there for you. It's TOS TV Network on YouTube as well. And you can stream the conversation and our website www.tostvnetwork.com. Okay, let's take you back to what is trending on social media. And guess who has been trending on social media in the last 24 hours? Davido, yes, Nigerian singer and superstar Davido, aka OVO, has been trending on social media following his latest feat of being the first Nigerian star to hit 20 million followers on Instagram. So he's been trending, lately due to all of that. So I'm going to read out a few tweets to that before, I give you my reaction and then get Mesco's reaction on that one as well. The first one is from @Ochu Rashid, and he says, Davido hits 20 million followers on Instagram, making him the most followed African artist on the platform. Chokest. And then this one is from @D_Black. Why Davido no one gets 20 million followers when him page now cruise on his own? A choke. And then @Flix MMT says, Baba is having ABT. Davido's Fall has 201 million YouTube views, 56 million Spotify streams, 22 million Pandora streams, 5.64 million Audiomack streams, Gold in USA, that's 500,000 sales. Gold in Canada, 40,000 sales. 2 times platinum in SA, that's South Africa, with 40,000 sales. It spent 59 weeks on Billboard World Digital Song Sale. And then the last tweet there is from @Davido_global. And he says, @Davido is the only Afrobeat artist to have earned over 10 million streams on Pandora since the year began. 2.9 million gap to the closest Afrobeat artist. Risky and DNG, gaining heavy momentum in streams, will become the most streamed Afrobeat artist this year from number 3.
I think Davido as an artist is very, very hardworking.
Very. It's not. I don't.
Because he's always on people's faces. Now, regardless of all of the controversial issues, surrounding his relationship with friends, partners, his love life as well, he's still always in the front burner.
Yeah.
Like, he's working. We have people saying, look, he's coming from a very decent background. So he's coming from wealth, practically.
Yeah.
But still, regardless of all of the privileges he has, he's still working and putting in the work. And I really think people should admire that.
Emulate that.
Yeah, true. Because we have people saying, oh, yeah, you just have it easy because you have money and everything.
It does.
But this is someone who he puts in serious work. He's always in different cities and, always on our faces.
Different
on his social media, he's
different,
always active and everything.
exactly.
And I'm like, does this guy even sleep or rest or something?
Look, somebody said, I think Davido is the only celebrity in Nigeria that sleeps on Instablog. Like, one of those blogs on social media. It's like, and he will respond to everything. So I think the reason why he has, those active following, like one of those persons says, his page is a constant cruise. Davido is very relatable. Like, you don't feel like there's a huge gap between him.
He's very close.
Yes, you can relate to his life. You can relate to, oh, that's a young man trying to do this, or that's somebody. Like you gave him hate, he'll give you right back. You say something in response to you, very playful, stuff like that. So he just necessarily just.
And there was a time, was it last year or 2 years ago, where he was off social media. He came out and said, look, he was going off. I don't know what really happened and all of the issues surrounding that story, but he went off and came back. And with all of this, he's still the #1 African artist with the most followers on Instagram. And Instagram is a social media where we have all of these celebrities, because that's where you can find music and everything, and people are just talking about it. So I really think it's a big one for Africa as a continent, and musicians, celebrity, people who are doing things in entertainment should emulate it. Keep putting on the hard work. Don't feel you've arrived, because really, looking at what Davido has achieved, I mean, he has achieved so much, even in the last 2 years, and he's still putting it. It's not like, oh, he's okay, he has the money, he has whatever he needs, but he's still in our faces, and that's really cool.
It's really cool. I mean, lots of persons, like, the Wizkid FC, there's always the Wizkid FC and the Davido FC.
And Wizkid is always not concerned, really. Like, there's always these people coming out to just talk about wars and fights that really is not even happening and everything.
But like, they always come and say, oh, he's not doing, Davido is not doing this, Davido doesn't measure up and all of that stuff. And I see all of that. And I'm like, how do you even measure somebody's success? A lot of people measure successes, especially when it comes to artisting, creative, with the number of awards or the number of plaques that they received. Or he has never won a Grammy, or he has never been nominated for a Grammy, or he has just beats, all of that stuff. People just come and say, well, Wizkid has a Grammy, Burna Boy has a Grammy. I'm a very huge fan.
Really.
But this is somebody that puts out a body of work, and then it gets massive viewership, massive streams, massive followership, massive feedbacks. I think Davido is one of the first artists that will put out work, and in 2 days or 3 days, you get 1 million views on YouTube and all of that stuff. That's to tell you that he has the number of people that
are
actually,
always watching expecting him to drop something.
Yeah, so he might not get the plaques, he might not get the Grammys. I hope he does get a Grammy though. But he might not get a Grammy now. But you cannot say he's not successful. You cannot say that he's not a great artist. You cannot say that he's not going to put in work or say, because having to go double platinum outside of Nigeria, platinum, gold in the US, in Canada, in Australia.
Yeah, it's a big
Those
deal.
are not Nigerians. Those are not even people that even rock with Afrobeat the way that we do here on the continent. And it gets to go double platinum in those contents. I mean, kudos to David.
It's a
He's
good
doing
one.
so much.
Wow.
Yes. All right, congratulations, David. Anyway, I'm a big David fan, so yeah. Okay, that's it on what's trending on social media today. So we're going to go on a break now, and when we come back, you know, it's going to be time for the big story.
Welcome back again to the conversation showing on your digital first Pan-African news network, that is TOS Television. And don't forget, you can always be a part of the show, you know, by following us across all our social media platforms. And of course, subscribe to our YouTube, TOS TV Network, and get all of the amazing content we have for you. If you've not done that, please do it now. You've got your phone and computer close to you. Just click the subscription button and get all of the amazing content we have. It's that time I will bring you the crux of the conversation, that is the big story. Now, over the last decade, Nigeria has experienced a steady decline in the adaptation of some cultures and belief systems which were once strong influences of how one is perceived in the society. With the advent of social media and the internet, access to knowledge, information, and trends have never been more seamless. While this is a fundamental requirement for learning in the 21st century, it has come with a lot of its disadvantages. One of this is the adoption of foreign cultures and way of life, among others. Now, joining us to discuss this and more on moral decadence in the Nigerian society and reviving the culture of respect and discipline is Mr. Shuaibu Gimba, and he is a lecturer. Thank you so much for joining us on the show this morning, Mr. Shuaibu.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure being with you this morning.
Good. What is moral decadence, and how has it affected Nigeria over the years?
Okay, thank you very much. To start with, it's good to look at moral decadence as a societal problem, because it is a problem that has to do with human. That is it being social, and it is a problem that does not just start and end with the individual. It's something that has to do with a whole community or society. Specifically talking about what it is a term that is used to describe a situation when the mode of behavior of a people in a given society fall below what is considered as the required standard of behavior to keep that society in a state of harmony and order. When in any society you see people behaving in a way that comes short of what is required to maintain peace, tranquility, and harmony in that society, then the word social decadence is employed to describe that situation. And in Nigeria, just like you have said, it has impacted on Nigeria in so many aspects. The problems we are having in the country that has to do with bad leadership, banditry, corruption, and just name them, can all be traced to this very problem we are talking about.
Okay, so what role, because when Merciful was reading out earlier, he did, highlight the role social media has played in all of this. But in your opinion, do you think social media has played positive or negative role in, the state of moral decadence that we have in the country at this point?
Yes, it has done it both sides. It has played the positive role and it has played the negative role. And just like with every technological advancement, it comes with its positive and negative. So yes, the positive role of the social media are so numerous that cannot be completely listed.
Yeah.
And especially with its its advancement in the acquisition of knowledge and so on. But looking at the negative role, we also have this the major among the negative role is this issue of exposing children who are in their formative age to things that they should not be. Because social media has created a situation now where parents no longer have a very good control of what their words are fed with. So, and when you have such a situation, it becomes a problem, and that is the kind of era we are passing through now. Now you cannot control effectively what your child is exposed to just because of the advent of this social media.
Okay, but okay, so let's come back to Nigeria. We know that Nigeria has people of strong moral and belief systems, right? We have very,
Yes.
very strong belief systems. So, but do you
Yes.
think that as a country we're moving in the right direction in regards to our belief system? Because I know some belief systems have been dropped, some have been adopted, some have been strengthened. Do you think we're moving in the right direction in regards to our belief systems in the country?
Yes, to not at all. We are moving. We have moved far from what should be considered as being in the right direction. We
Okay.
have deviated so much from what should be the right direction, and because if you look at even the our own belief system, every one of us will agree that it is not what we believe as the right thing that we do, and that is why we have this contradiction between our system and our way of life. So you will see a situation whereby no religion or no kind of discipline in Nigeria supports the idea of corruption, wickedness, and all what I feel that has become very common in our society. But yet, these are the things that you find as the attitude of Nigerians. So this deviation represents the reason why somebody can say that we have moved or we have deviated far from what is the right direction.
Okay.
So how can we get back to, decency, self-control, and back to the right belief system that we once had before, in your opinion?
Yes, thank you very much. Talking about how we can get back, I think the challenge is more on the leadership. The challenge is more on the leadership in the sense that I think up till the end of time, my belief is that we have good Nigerians. Nigerians are not as bad as we usually assume that they are in most of our discourses. But the problem is that there is this disorientation. People have lost hope that things can ever get to be done rightly in the country. So this orientation, I think, is even more than even the problem of decadence. What is our greatest bane in this country now? So we need a leadership that the people will have trust in and will give them orientation towards seeing the benefit of doing what is right. Because as it is now, most of Nigerians are not inclined to doing what is right because they feel that the right doing of one individual in a society that has already grown into an atmosphere of indiscipline doesn't really make an impact. So you discover that what most of Nigerians need is credible and trustworthy leadership that will give them this sense of orientation that we are talking about, which is lacking in the present. That is why there is this book written by Chinua Achebe that the problem of Nigeria lies in its leadership. I think what he is pointing out in that place is in that book specifically is this orientation of the people towards seeing what is right.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Schreiber. It has been really a pleasure having you on the show. We don't have so much time now, so we have to call it the end of the show now. Thank you so much, really, again. It's been insightful, I must say.
Yes, actually it's insightful.
All right. How has it been so far for you?
It's been good. I mean, a lot of time people have said, I know that when you talk to, the elderly or the older people, they tell you, oh, in our days it wasn't like this.
Wasn't like this.
There's a lot that has gone. People don't do this anymore. People do it, and we, all the younger generation begin to look at. Wait, you guys have to accept that times have changed, and there's a lot.
And growth
of things,
is constant.
Growth, yeah, there's a lot of things.
Some things get adjusted.
The way they say the world's a global village now, and I think that's one of the advent of social media and everything. You can be here and see how things are done in other climes. So I think it just rests on us to actually filter what we take, from all of that. So you take the good, you take what's productive for you, what's what you feel like is going to help you grow, and then you just drop. I just hope we get to that point where young people can actually just filter things and not just consume
take everything. Hook, line, and sinker.
Yes, I do know that Nigerians are very we have morals, core values. Africans in general, I think the African society rides on value system, moral, all of this stuff, and I think we can just not lose that. I think you could easily spot in Africa anywhere in the world.
Definitely.
Respect for all the people, respect for things, respect for culture, caring for other people. You can literally just see. You just see an African, this person has to be African, and I hope we do not lose that value system.
We do hope
as
so.
Africans, yeah.
All right, thank you so much for joining us, viewers, and don't forget you can always be a part of the community by following us across all our social media, platforms. We have the handle at TOS TV Network, and also on the website www.tostvnetwork.com, and of course don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. Thank you again for watching. I am Merciful Ajinamo.
And my name is Adesuwa Osiyi. Do have a great day.